But I noticed this morning that when there was a lorry arrived, that the police actually really facilitated the peaceful walking in front of that lorry without having any arrests. Is there a different policy now, or...?
I'm not in a position to comment on policy,
right?
Force policy, but you're right to notice that this morning was, and it may have been different, but obviously I wasn't there. So
okay. Well, from watching it on film, I believe it was different, and all I was going to say was to make the point that perhaps if we were to have consistency over it, I think that would answer a lot of questions. And to be honest, you've seen how people have reacted here. They've been very peaceful, very jovial. All they're trying to do is raise awareness, and I think that if somebody thinks it's their right to walk in front of a lorry and you can facilitate that for 100 metres, then I think we're...
The request has been passed up.
That
we can have some form, as you say, consistency or some agreement. So we'll see what comes back down.
Thank you.
I have made the request on behalf of...
if you could just keep us in the loop, and because if we have clarity, then nobody's going to get into any trouble, and we're going to avoid unnecessary arrests, perhaps. All right. Thank you very much for that. Cheers.
No problem.
I spoke to you about consistency within the way that this is policed.
Yes.
We've gone from one extreme to the other, where this morning it was facilitated, and then the second time that this happens, right, this guy here is taken out without warning, and I have it on film. That he's taken out without warning. Why no consistency within the way that Surrey police are behaving here?
I can make a phone call to the commander, the bronze commander.
Who is your bronze commander?
It is... We'll find out for you. I don't know. It's just
it might be a good idea if you knew, because otherwise you're not going to get hold of him. But
I've got a phone number.
Okay. I'm sure he'd be upset if you didn't know who he was.
I think I would. I will ask questions and I'll come back to you.
Okay.
With what we have.
We have a situation here which I feel was totally avoidable. There was no need for it, and had there been consistency, we would have known that this guy was going to get taken out immediately. He didn't even have a clue. He was taken from behind without warning, just saying you're under arrest.
We were warned that we might be doing something they disagreed with this morning, but we weren't warned of an arrest. This individual wasn't warned that he would be arrested, and he had something shouted at him unintelligibly.
Did you actually film the re-arrest?
Yes.
Just writing down everybody that...
I've got it, yeah.
I'm not in a position to comment on what I didn't see or
Well,
what I didn't hear.
why weren't you here to see it?
Okay, so you'll come back to me with an answer to that, would you?
In terms of what consistency?
In what I just asked you, yes. What is the general policy of the Surrey Police here today regarding what they seem to facilitate this morning and what they are now doing by arresting somebody without warning?
Okay,
we need some kind of...
I can express an opinion based on what I saw this morning, and that it was facilitated peacefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But why the circumstances are different this time around? I'm not.
I
didn't see.
That is for the judges or magistrates to find out what the difference is, but I'm just asking about the consistency and how we stand. That's all I want to know.
You're entitled to have some clarification on that. As my colleague said, he'll speak to the bronze commander.
Yeah.
And we'll come back to you and let you know what we intend to do.
If you could come back to me, I would be very grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. It's John.
John.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
But by standing by and doing nothing when someone's actually making an illegal arrest, you're being part of that process. It's not as simple as just you're a good one, he's a bad one.
No, you're right, it's not.
But, so you should step in and protect the public at that point as a police liaison officer.
Do you know what? I don't know your name.
You're not going to get my name.
Okay, but you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you.
So next time we'll do it differently, and I'll try and be a bit more involved. Yeah.
Because he shoved him to the floor unnecessarily.
I'm not promising you that I can stop him from acting the way that he has, or if I can try and justify the force that he's used. But I will promise you that next time we'll get more involved, and we'll try something.
Can you arrest other officers for doing illegal acts? Because basically...
Well, we can.
That was an illegal arrest.
What I was wondering, if he can...
Did you get any clarification on what I asked you earlier?
Yes, exactly, yes. I've spoken with Bronze. He will facilitate a lawful protest in the sense that you're being allowed to protest outside of the site, next to the site, with banners. With regards to obstructing a highway, we won't facilitate any walking in front of vehicles.
I see.
It's a consistent approach that's being taken by Surrey Police. Should any person decide to walk in front of vehicles, and any offences are deemed to be taking place, then relevant warning teams remove.
You'll go through the 5-step warning process,
exactly.
yeah?
Yeah, as you're fully aware.
Yeah.
I believe you're fully aware.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, you are aware that this has been thrown out of court already for the same thing in Lancashire.
I've raised that with Bronze, and he's
So we have a really good relationship with our police in Lancashire.
assured me that everything
We
will
have a
be
really shit relationship with Greater Manchester
dealt with
Police.
upon its merits,
They were
and if
really horrible to us.
it deems to be an offence, it's taken
Right.
place, and it will be dealt with accordingly by the licensed.
Okay, and what possible offences could be committed if someone's walking in front of a lorry?
The offences that we're talking about are obstruction offences.
So that would be what, section 137?
It'd be unlawful obstruction of highway, willful obstruction of highway.
Does that not involve having to be stationary? Does that law relates to a stationary person?
Like I say, everything will be justified upon its merits. That's what I do.
You do know that just recently there was a test case. Yeah, exactly. And so with that, it was determined by the judge that it was legitimate protest to slow walk in front of the lorries, as long as you're not standing still, because that constitutes obstruction. So that's why we intend to carry on with our democratic right to protest in that form.
Okay,
So there won't be an obstruction. It just means that the transport
like I
will
say,
be
I passed on the information that I've received from Bronze. That's all I can do.
because then if people were actually pulled out and arrested, it could constitute a wrongful arrest, and we wouldn't want that happening either.
Oh, of course not.
No,
of course
and
not.
I mean, the other point that's really important to make here is that if the police do that, if they do pluck people from a legitimate protest where that constitutes slow walking, what they're doing in effect by taking them away from the protest is they're actually limiting that right, and they're enforcing, as it were, an injunction by the back door. And so there would be rise to perhaps wrongful arrest.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, everything will be dealt with according to its merits, okay? And if there's a justified reason for the 5-step appeal and removal of people, then that will be down to the
There is also something in
teams.
European law that it recognises that sometimes our right to legal protest, our right to protest, sometimes does legitimately hold up the highway. And that's our legal right.
By all means, I can only pass back the information that I've received, and everything will be dealt with according to its merits. Like I say, we just want you to be safe. We want obviously the road users to be safe, and ultimately allow you to put your message across, do what you want to do, but also allow for the lawful work to be carried out here.
We have no intention of stopping the work. We have no intention of doing that whatsoever. We just want to exercise our democratic right to be able to protest, which will take the form perhaps of slow walking in front of lorries, as I've asked you about. And I believe that is our right, and I believe that judges have already made that decision, that it is our right to be able to do that. And they've thrown a case out of the court recently.
Even if we were actually breaking the law, Lord Hoffman said in the House of Lords, in the case Queen versus Jones in 2006, even civil disobedience on conscientious grounds has a long and honourable history in the country, and people who break the law to affirm their belief in the injustice of a law or government action are sometimes vindicated by history. Suffragettes is an example which comes immediately to mind. It is the mark of a civilised community that it can accommodate protests and demonstrations of this kind. And he's talking there about unlawful civil disobedience. We're remaining within the law here, and we're purely planning to slow walk in front of transport here, as has been done and tolerated in numerous other sites.
I say it will be dealt with, like I say, according to its merits. Okay, if that's what your plans are, and that's what your intentions are
And
today.
there won't be obstruction because we won't be stationary.
I will feed it to Bronze. I'm merely here to liaise between you,
Okay.
yourself and Bronze.
Well, I hope you can see that what we're asking is not unreasonable, and that we are being perfectly open and honest about our intentions today and the reasons why we are wanting to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I will feed.
We are doing it because we feel that a bigger crime may be committed here by possibly poisoning water and air and soil and damaging health to other people. So that is the reason why we're here today.
Everybody's entitled to their own
And
beliefs.
if we are stopped protesting in any way or form, you are actually, in fact, facilitating this corporation in what their business is, which I believe to be unlawful.
But obviously it has the correct paperwork to be here.
It has paperwork, yes, but that doesn't make it right, you know?
You mean...
Further down the line, we could be talking about a whole different set of things, you know?
Yeah.
If somebody is injured by the goings-on of this company here, if the water's poisoned, if that was a terrorist put acid into a water supply, they would be sent to prison for it. So why is it that a corporation can do that and get away with it and be facilitated by the police and by the government?
I don't know much of the goings-on that happen
No,
inside
I mean,
there.
you just
It's been proved in America.
Yeah, exactly.
But if we just, if we just concentrate on the recent test case, basically, the solicitors there said that the state had sought to criminalise a legitimate form of protest. Well, the judge himself said it has not been proved to him that in these circumstances the actions of the two defendants, who were walking in front of the transport, had interfered unreasonably with the use of the road, and that they were entitled to be acquitted of that charge, and that it was a legitimate form of protest. So that the police actions were specifically, they were wrong there. And what they did was take two people away from their right to legitimate protest.
Yeah, again, I don't know the situation
but
there.
obviously your role in this is to liaise.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, so I'll give you the information to go back and liaise with. So
I'm sure that my...
what we are having down, we're getting pushed down.